All right, it's October 16th. Listen, it's Wednesday, and tonight you and I get to be at a 100-year celebration. But first, we have to talk a little bit news, and then we'll talk about that. Or maybe we'll do it in reverse. I don't know. We'll just do whatever feels right.
Whatever feels right.
It's the media business.
We're just always running. There's so many things. I feel like, now we know why news channels can run all day. You know what I mean? There's always something to talk about. You can always find something.
I mean,
and whether or not it's valuable.
That's
why we do this. We just pick the 3 things that you should think about this morning.
Yes. Yes. Well, the reality is that tonight we're both going to be in. Were we in Charlottesville tonight? Right now,
Charlottesville.
We're going to be in Charlottesville. Yeah, I get mixed up. With CMA, Carter Myers Automotive celebrating their 100-year anniversary. Just think about the things that weren't even a part of existence.
You know what's crazy though? It's actually the actual company is older than 100 years,
right?
Because it started as like a
hardware company.
What was it? Like what was it?
It's a hardware store.
Hardware store, right?
Yeah.
And then it transitioned, changed the names, became a manufacturer, got the Ford franchise.
Yeah, we were joking. We're like, what cars did you sell 100 years ago besides Fords?
That's it. Well, I read an interesting stat that over 50% of the vehicles in operation 4 years after they started were Ford Model Ts.
Dude, that's a great time to be a Ford dealer.
It was great. They were like, we're good.
50% market share, folks. Not bad.
It's like all the Toyota dealers today.
Oh,
got him.
Oh man, by the way, we have a new podcast that we just released. It's a podcast that is an ASOTU production, but it is NAMAD, National Association of Minority Auto Dealers. It's their new podcast we produced for them called Now We're Here, where Damon Lester is the host. And his first guest is Reggie Davis from JM&A. You have to check this out. We have such a great guest lineup, and Damon is an amazing host of the show. We're having so much fun producing this for them. You can find it on our platforms, but just search ASOTU, Now We're Here, or NAMAD, Now We're Here, and you'll get to it on Apple Music or Spotify or wherever else you find your stuff.
That's it. Saying? You can see all the podcasts. They're great. They're really good podcasts. We got a lot of podcasts. Sometimes I get silly sideways about how many podcasts are running
because we're a media company.
We're a media company.
We make media. It actually is interesting. I kind of love having a podcast that you and I aren't hosting.
I know, it's great. Yeah.
I mean, we already hosting in the dirt, but
Nathan's like, well, I get to produce it.
Right.
Still.
That's the thing. Like, we're not even producing it, which is so sweet because it's like a fresh listen when we get to see it. Nathan, you're doing a great job. Wrangling all the podcast people into one group so they can record something.
That's right.
Not an easy job. Should we talk about some news? Do we need to talk about the webinar next week?
Yeah, there's a webinar next week. You should join us.
Amal. Throw the graphic up.
Smart cat. This dude is smart.
I know. We're going to be with our boy Amal from Full Throttle. What's the topic? I should know this. Oh, finding your shoppers using free TV. Don't you love that topic?
Hey, now.
Look, Amal is always fantastic to have a conversation with. He is so well read across a lot of disciplines in the auto industry. And these podcasts, these webinars, 20, 30 minutes, we're in and we're out. The last few have just been so much fun. So you can join for free. Go to ASOTU.com. It's right there. Register so you can be with us live or get the recording. And we hope you're there with us live, though, because we love questions. We love heckling. We love that real-time interaction and all the things that come with it. Let's talk about
comment feed is just the way to be.
It's so good. It's so good. All right, let's talk about some news.
Do it.
Well, new data suggesting lower priced vehicles are surging in popularity despite the average price of new cars remaining high. Buyers are acting fast before all these affordable models disappear, with notable increases in sub 20,000 cars. Basically, the Kia Forte, their sales rose 6%. Nissan Versa by 64%. And the Mitsubishi Mirage, which I have some firsthand experience with from our last little vlog, an incredible 114%. I think hurts them all. Even though the Mirage is sent to be discontinued, I have no idea why. You should watch our vlog. I don't even know why.
Look, we're sorry if you work for Mitsubishi and you're listening. We're sorry. We don't know why. We don't get it.
I know. And man, if people are buying these things,
maybe Hertz Rent-A-Car bought them all.
They did. I drove one of them. Vehicles priced between $20,000 and $30,000 saw nearly a 44% growth in sales during Q3. Meanwhile, luxury cars priced at $100,000 or more saw a sharp decline, with sales down 46%. in the last 9 months. The party might be over. Kevin Roberts from Car Guru says consumers are becoming more cautious due to economic uncertainty, high interest rates, and get this, elevated vehicle prices.
Hey, listen, if you haven't been listening to this show, we apologize if you've missed this. If you have been listening to this show, you've heard us say this. Get your used car inventory in line. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody is interested in that low price vehicle and they are going to be after them, especially into the last half of this year. And obviously we're seeing that in new cars. We're seeing that in used cars. People are after a price point that's more affordable and accessible for the regular budget out there. Look, used cars are the way to go because only a few of these people, you got the Forte, the Versa, the Mirage, and I think a couple other cars that can potentially get under 20,000 with a couple incentives. Everyone else has to buy a used car. And if you're looking to find the majority of where the market is headed, that $15,000 to $25,000 car is a sweet spot right now.
I'll tell you what, though, I've had several people ask me over the last 30, 60 days, you get them too. Everybody, what car should I buy? Here's my budget. Here's what I want, right? I've been pointing more people towards the Ioniq 5. Ooh. That I can shake a stick at. And I get the napkin math out. I'm like, listen, if you put 3,900, what's your budget? Good. 15 grand. Sweet. Put 3,900 down. You pay 159 a month for this. What you're driving, like, great. Zero fuel expense.
Crazy.
Awesome. Brand new car. No maintenance, no surprises. And basically I was like, the depreciation of that car that you were going to buy is the same as what you're going to pay to drive that brand new one. And I was like, Dave Ramsey. I said, Dave Ramsey might not be happy with you.
He said, no leasing.
No leasing because it's bad. But I think that if, I secretly think he disagrees with that.
Yeah, I lease a car.
I know. Kyle sold cars in Nashville, which when everybody walked in with their Dave Ramsey badge on.
I sold cars less than half a mile away from Dave Ramsey's headquarters.
So everybody walked in.
Everybody was like, we're not supposed to lease. They're like, yeah, right. Watch this. Here we go.
He's like, hold my
Mazdas, at least great.
He's like, hold my Red Bull. Yeah. Back in, have you ever drank Red Bull?
I did back in the day, like twice. And
you on a Red Bull is a scary proposition. You have enough energy without it. It's that 4 miles
I don't
run every morning.
That's for sure.
I know.
I just do coffee. Red Bull is too much.
Yeah, it's natural. It's all natural. All right. I don't have a segue for
this.
There's no thing. I was trying hard.
Yeah.
All right. So technology firms are racing to tackle EV battery defects with the help of some AI. No surprise. AI models are dramatically speeding up quality checks, helping identify potential issues before they become costly or dangerous issues. Unit X, that's the name of the company. Their AI tools scan cells in 3.5 seconds compared to 5 minutes for human operators. That sounds like pretty efficient.
Wow.
Richard Alfeld of Monolith, he says AI can have half battery testing time, while NIO in Europe is leveraging AI to accelerate battery development. Let's see, SES AI, I think that's another company, right? SES AI is using AI models to map new molecules, potentially revolutionizing material discovery for future EV batteries. Patrick Hartsky of McKinsey, we know McKinsey, notes that improving battery chemistry, like pharmaceuticals, takes time, but the long-term value is tremendous. So AI is getting its little tentacles into battery production and troubleshooting, I guess.
Oh, making EVs with AI, and give me a couple of more acronyms, oh boy.
Steve Urkel, where are you at?
I mean, not much about this except for the fact that, look, I have to believe that the current technology on the road for alternative fuel is not going to be the alternative technology that we'll see it in even 3 or 4 years. It will be dramatically different. It will be version 3.5 or whatever when we're on version 1.0. And we're just going to see a whole lot of difference when it comes to charging capacity, when it comes to the price of these things. It's just going to be a whole new world because the speed of technology right now and the ability to measure this battery or any other alternative fuel is going to get so much better quicker than we've ever seen with gasoline, because gasoline is a one-way street, right? And battery technology, I mean, you look at like the battery in an iPhone over the last 20 years.
Oh my gosh. I remember it was like middle of the day. You're like, am I going to make it? Now it's like, you don't even think about it.
You don't even think about it.
Plug it in and you go.
And you're doing so much more processing.
That's
right?
the crazy part. If you look at like, I don't know, there's probably a measurement for it, like, like milliamps per processing unit or
Look,
whatever.
if you were able to put the battery of the current iPhone in the original iPhone, it'd probably run for a month.
It probably.
Probably,
I don't think so.
Implode or
Right,
run for a month.
Hey, remember? I'm trying to think now. Did I ever have a phone with a replaceable battery? Was that a thing?
I did. Yeah.
The little battery door, like, and the little rectangle battery thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. You had to plug the. Oh my! And that's what iPhone's like. No, the battery's built in. You can't replace it. Everyone's like, what? Think of the paradigm shift that was.
That was a paradigm shift.
A battery you didn't have to replace because it was way more efficient and way more reliable. Like in the cars in 3, 4, 5 years from now, I think you're right. We'll laugh. It'll either be the batteries.
We'll laugh at today's technology. We'll laugh at it.
I can't wait. Speaking of not being able to wait.
Stop. Segue.
I have no idea what that segue meant.
I don't know what that means either.
But I can't wait to hear you read this last story.
A new lending tree study is revealing just how widespread shrinkflation is in the U.S., with many products shrinking in size while prices stay the same or even on the rise, leaving consumers to pay more for less, even though they may not even know about it. 31% of the 98 supermarket products studied in this survey have shrunk over the last 4 years. So the volume, the amount, anything like that. Paper products like toilet paper were the most affected, with 60% shrinking in size since 2019. So they're like, look, same price, less material. Charmin Ultra Strong Rolls, check this out, shrank by 15%, while prices per 100 sheets increased by 31%.
Whoa, what a swing. You pay 31.4% more and get 15% less. What
unbelievable.
What a math game that is.
Breakfast cereal and candy also impacted. Reese's shrunk by 11%. I don't even know how they did that. They just like slightly made the Reese's just slightly smaller, and its price has skyrocketed by 68.2%. Matt Schultz of Lending Tree, who did the study, notes shrinkflation adds insult to injury for already frustrated customers. So your prices are up and your sizes are down, fam.
The most frustrating thing is that if you compare that to the package size, like the package size is probably the same.
Yeah. You get that bag of chips and it's like,
yeah, right. Exactly. I know there's some legislation in place right now trying to mandate, like, it's too late though, trying to mandate that like you somehow indicate it or put, like, I don't know what you do, like a little flag on the packaging now featuring new shrinkflation size. Like,
yep.
It's just a mess.
I think all this points to is like the media, consumers, everybody is just so price sensitive right now.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous for our industry because our advertising is so predicated historically on price sensitivity. And going back to the first story, right, where people are looking for the price, the affordability, right? If you dive too much in that direction, the scrutiny on the capacity to purchase for a consumer is going to be so much higher. So moving away from that, from a branding, from a marketing perspective, is going to help you get the consumer out of that mindset that they're being trained with in all of retail, in all of consumer experience, in all of service experience right now, and kind of eject them from having to make a consideration based on that.
You know, I think like auto industry is probably one place where it's shrinkflation is kind of impossible.
That's true.
I can't think of one instance.
I don't know. You missed the story about the little Fiat 500e earlier this week. How they're like,
look at it now. Look at it now. What is this? A car for ants? I don't know.
A car for ants.
Oh, well, look, we're going to celebrate 100 years of a company that is a very short list of companies at all that have been around for 100 years. And it's in the best industry in the world, auto industry. We'll have content from you. We'll bring you along. We'll see you tomorrow.